Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Zooming in a little bit more into the covert narcissist and the codependent dynamic. I know that this is a very insidious topic, but yet it's important to understand really the personality disorder and then how people react to it. The covert narcissist is someone who has adopted a mask, a facade, which they show their partner, if not the rest of the world or their other relationships, specifically, for example, their business relationships. And really, when you think about the coming together of souls, the marriage, the spousal relationship, really that is your other half, your better half. It should be two halves complementing one another, where one has strengths and the other's strengths complement the needs of the other. And really it should be a harmonious sort of ebb and flow between the two. Well, the codependent narcissist is someone who doesn't always come completely out to their spouse. This is the issue. The issue is that the covert narcissist will feign a mask, a facade, a persona, a presentation to the spouse and the other family members, which belays really their true self. So rather than being all there, all present, and essentially emotionally naked before them, a certain facade is presented. So, this can seem, like a refined or sophisticated person, highly intelligent, or maybe even socially not so intelligent, lacking in emotional intelligence. Each case, each couple is unique. However, the issue is that the covert narcissist is extremely adept at presenting and maintaining this facade within their family. And so oftentimes people get very used to it. They learn what they can expect and what they can't expect from this person. So they learn that there are certain, perhaps, things that are going to have to be without. They're not going to be present. They're not going to be a good communicator. So, they realize that the codependent and generally the other family members tend to accept the shortcomings of the covert narcissist. They tend to accept and then over provide then for their spouse, do more than is required. And I'm just trying to put my glove here over this mic so that it's not getting the wind on this windy day. So hopefully you can hear that more clearly. But yet in the codependent relationship, they end up then picking up the slack. They end up really sort of towing the line for where the covert narcissist fails. And so the covert narcissist is loving it because they now have their spouse who is now really overperforming their role in the relationship. They are taking care of all of the kids. They are doing all the grocery shopping, organizing the bills, really running the household. And I've seen this in a number of cases in people who I've worked with and really within my life where this has so much been the case. And what then has occurred is the codependent then has to outperform really the roles of any spouse that what could be expected. So the codependent person in this dynamic also has to adopt a mask, for example, to cover up themselves. So they end up denying themselves their own voice, their true needs in the relationship because they give so much that they then create a codependent identity, if you will, where and let's just for this example, I want to show you how codependency in essence becomes a response to this covert narcissist need. So it's an adaptation. It's to keep the relationship alive. It's to keep themselves alive. It's a role that they have played. But yet what ends up happening is this role then ends up suffocating their internal truth, their internal voice. They become silenced in the process. So this role that they take on is essentially that. It's a role, and then that becomes really a deadened part of oneself, because one is essentially exhausting and living from a locus of control that is outside of them rather than inside, and paying attention to that voice inside of them, that person inside who really kind of feels like something is a little bit off, something is a little bit missing, and rather than giving life to that voice and saying, you know, it would be nice if this, or it would be nice if that, or doesn't that make sense, and kind of putting your own opinions and values out there, the codependent then learns to suffocate this, shut it down, you know, oppress themselves, you know, they become really their own, a little bit of enemy there. They end up sabotaging themselves and really just kind of letting it go, or enabling the covert to continue in this toxic way, and maintaining of that mask. So really what then ends up happening, the codependent says enough is enough, you know, this has got to stop, because the relationship is going to grow in one way or another. So really it's usually the codependent who's the one who is then empowered, the one in the relationship who speaks up and says and brings things to light. So they're really the true one bearing the torch here, and really able to create a new dynamic in the relationship if the covert narcissist is willing and able. So really realize that the codependent depression is a triggering of this self-doubt, and it's really due to a suffocating of one's voice, and really feeling that they are missing out on what they truly deserve, which is a spouse who is there to, you know, honor, acknowledge, and appreciate, and not just use to one's own advantage. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.